They were Hollywood's most explosive pair. Frank and Ava battled and loved hard, but in November 1952, she uttered something terrible. After covertly terminating her pregnancy, Ava said the 9 unexpected words. Sinatra collapsed after learning the truth, swallowed sleeping tablets, sliced his wrists. He still sent her flowers every year after the divorce, but those 9 terrible words were a wall they couldn't climb. Ava Gardner was born in Grabtown, North Carolina, on Christmas Eve, 1922. Sharing her birthday with Jesus bothered her. "It took a long time for me to forgive the Lord," she wrote. Born to Jonas, 44, and Molly, 39, she was the youngest of 7 children. They weren't rich, but they did well locally. Jonas had a sawmill, tobacco, cotton, and country shop. Their house was one of the largest. Power was still absent. Flowing water or indoor plumbing. Ava was raised Baptist. Her father donated wood and labor to create it. Her childhood was spent barefoot in rural fields, helping with tobacco from the age she could walk. Late at night, she cured tobacco leaves with her father. She saved 1 pair of shoes for special occasions. She would never forget being barefoot. Warm dirt under her feet calmed her as a Hollywood star. But those early years were rough. Their crops failed, and the boll weevil destroyed everything. The family rented their land. School wasn't easy. Ava was taunted for wearing hand-me-downs. A second hit followed. The school where her mother worked closed in 1934, when Ava was 11. Her father became ill when the family opened a boarding home in Virginia. Ava visited him at Riverside Hospital daily after school. She read him the news, especially Roosevelt stories. Jonas never complained, but he got sicker. Bronchitis killed him on March 26, 1938. Ava was 15. His death broke her. She realized the loss years later. At Grace Kelly's wedding, she cried watching a father walk his daughter down the aisle. She wished she had a father like that to lean on. Ava and her mother returned to North Carolina after the funeral. Another boarding home was Molly's. Ava tried to concentrate on her future. She graduated high school in 1939 and attended Atlantic Christian College. Typing, shorthand, and business writing were her subjects. She wanted to be secretary. This was a good job for a poor, unconnected girl. She never considered acting. She had a heavy Southern accent, no training or stage experience. Nobody outside North Carolina understood her. However, a 1940 summer visit to New York City altered everything. She visited her older sister, Bappy. Larry Tarr, Bappy's husband, photographed professionally, so he sent their mother some Ava photos. One of those images of quiet, stunning beauty was in his Fifth Avenue studio window. A teenage Lowe's Theater's legal clerk spotted the photo and suggested sending her information to MGM. Larry did just that. He made prints all night and shipped them to MGM's New York office. Shocked, MGM screen-tested Ava, not a real audition. She walked, turned, and placed flowers. Nothing was recorded of her voice. The Southern drawl was too heavy to understand. "She can't sing, act, or talk, but she's fantastic," observed studio boss Louis B. Mayer after seeing the footage. MGM signed her for $50 a week. Today, that's $985. Ava, 18, arrived in Hollywood with her sister as a chaperone on August 23, 1941. Only 1 cardboard suitcase, 1 pair of shoes, and no experience. A hidden clause in her contract allowed MGM to lower her income to $35 a week for 12 weeks a year. George Sidney, a studio executive, called her good merchandise. They saw her as a product, not a person. Ava starred in 17 films in 1942 to 1945. Most of her roles were forgettable. Sometimes she had one line, sometimes none. Party girls, dancers, socialites, and street extras were her roles. She said I was wallpaper. MGM bombarded her with photo sessions. She wore swimwear and lingerie, and submitted the photos to international boys' publications. She was famous for her face, not her talent. MGM was molding her secretly. They taught her speaking to remove her accent. They trained her to sit, stand, smile, and walk elegantly. Her hair and cosmetic stylists fussed frequently. Ava disliked it. She sometimes drank to calm down before the camera since she was scared. Real acting classes were rare. Only actor Charles Laughton bothered to help her. Gregory Peck advised her to act on stage. MGM rejected her for leading lady roles because she wasn't ready. Her first real shoot followed. In 1946, Ava featured in Whistle Stop, a noir film about a woman who returns home and gets into a love triangle. She was cast after George Raft, her lover, recommended her. Critics saw her inexperience, but she had potential. Nice reviews for the film. For Ava, it was significant. Someone finally saw her beyond her beauty. That included producer Mark Hellinger. After watching Whistle Stop, he wanted her in his next film. That picture was The Killers, based on a Hemingway short tale. Universal paid MGM $1,000 per week to borrow her for 7 weeks. Ava earned $200 per month. Her undervaluation was severe. The Killers debuted August 28, 1946. One theater earned $10,341 on its first day, $3,000 more than any film there. A sensation. It earned Ava 4 Oscar nods and stardom. Her performance as Kitty Collins, the film's sensual and mysterious heroine, shaped her movie image for years. Hemingway liked it. He showed them his home copy of the film. He stated Ava matched his vision. A sexy, sorrowful, dangerous, and tender woman. He even wanted her in more of his adaptations. MGM still limited her. MGM denied her casting by Gregory Peck in a play. The reason? Not a leading role. That control hindered her growth. But Ava got around it. She played daring, eclectic roles in the 1950s. Duchesses, mythical beings, noble women. She wanted to show her versatility. Ava added grief and ambition to her elegant dancer-turned-movie star role in The Barefoot Contessa. With Mogambo in 1953, things changed. Director John Ford first rejected her. He considered Maureen O'Hara. Ava dubbed Ford the meanest guy on earth for his harshness. While filming in Kenya, Clark Gable left after witnessing a furious argument. However, she loved Ford after filming. Despite the pandemonium, Mogambo was a hit. Production cost $3.1 million and earned $8.3 million. More importantly, it got Ava her first Oscar nomination. She nearly won the New York Film Critics Award for her charm and profundity. Her Oscar loss to Audrey Hepburn didn't matter. Finally, she proved herself. During the filming, Ava and Grace Kelly became close off-camera. They drank illicit champagne in an African tent. After that, Grace always sent Ava a birthday gift, wherever she was. Barefoot Contessa debuted in 1954. Rome and Italy were the filming locations, making her an international icon. MGM loaned her $200,000 and 10% of the film's $1 million profit. The contract earned the studio $1 million. Ava got $60,000. The film made her the world's most beautiful animal, a moniker she detested but couldn't avoid. She portrayed Rita Hayworth-inspired dancer-turned-star Maria Vargas. Critics didn't like the film's gloomy, mysterious tone. Bogart disliked working with her. He alleged she provided him nothing and had him fumble lines to force retakes. Ava knew the truth. This was her film, not his. Despite tension, Contessa had fans. François Truffaut lauded it. It inspired Fellini. For La Dolce Vita, Ava's sensuous, broken performance inspired a new female protagonist. Glamorous but painful, real and human. George Cukor and she took on Bhuwani Junction 2 years later in 1956. She was more than a beauty queen or superstar this time. Named Victoria Jones, Anglo-Indian woman torn between love, war, and civilizations. Part of the $3.6 million film was shot in Lahore, Pakistan. The heat, chaos, and emotional toll were severe. The job pushed her deeper than before. She said this was one of the few occasions she connected with a portion. Cukor noticed something others didn't. "I'm never bored with rerunning this or that portion," he wrote to her later. "I see more depth with each viewing." Critics concurred. She was shockingly effective, Newsweek said. The New York Times appreciated her intense emotional range. Cukor described her as complex, intellectual, fatalistic, desperate, and magnetic. He termed her a fascinating creature. One moment that changed her forever was when he paid her the greatest compliment. Gentleman Ava. All along, Ava Gardner was falling for different guys. It began in 1941. Ava Gardner met Mickey Rooney, America's biggest star in Hollywood, after arriving. She saw him in a Carmen Miranda movie costume on her second day at MGM Studios. He was short, she towering. He was 21 and made $5,000 a week. Over $90,000 today. And fascinated. He called her nightly for 2 weeks. She agreed to dinner if her sister could join. He wasn't subtle. Mickey was noisy, humorous, and always performing. Sent gifts. He arrived. Everywhere. And he handed her a 6-carat diamond ring. People said that America's favorite neighbor boy wanted to marry this shy new beauty. He meant it. He promised his friends, "I'll marry her no matter what." Ava was 19. She was from rural North Carolina. She was a virgin and uninterested in fame. Mickey, however, wanted everything now. MGM didn't like it. The wedding of their golden son may harm ticket sales. They needed studio chief Louis B. Mayer's consent. He agreed so long as the wedding was peaceful. They married in a little California church on January 10, 1942. Ava wore orchid-adorned blue outfit. No white dress, no fantasy wedding. MGM created images to make the marriage look flawless. It wasn't. Trouble started immediately. Mickey went golfing the morning after the wedding. Ava was devastated. He drank. He pursued women. He gambled. He partied. He didn't want to marry. Teenager Ava was overwhelmed. Everything collapsed 7 months later. Her divorce claim was mental cruelty. On May 21, 1943, Ava's mother died of breast cancer, and the divorce was finalized. Years later, Ava said Mickey had a redeeming moment. He danced, sang, and made her laugh when they visited her dying mother. The one thing she never forgot. Howard Hughes debuted that year. He was 43, she 21. He was wealthy, talented, and erratic. He obsessed about her. They battled constantly. He punched her one night during a bad fight. She hit his head with an ashtray. There was blood everywhere. He might be dead, she thought. Hughes woke up the next day after MGM helped her flee, asked her to marry again. He bugged her house, followed her. He broke into her bedroom at night, sure she was cheating. He smelled awful. Despite dating teenage girls, he pursued Ava for 20 years. Her second marriage was to bandleader Artie Shaw in 1945. She was perfect, he said. When they married, he sought to change everything about her. He criticized her book choices. He hurled her favorite romance novel across the floor and suggested Dostoevsky. He forced her to attend UCLA. He educated her on psychology and politics. He made her feel foolish, so she took an IQ test. Her score stunned her. It was high. He still treated her like a project. He even hired a chess master to educate her. She defeated him in 15 minutes, so he never played again. They divorced 1 year and 1 day later. Ava embraced Hollywood after her divorce. She frequently drank gin, tequila, martinis, and Mai Tais in one night. Her daily Winston consumption was 3 packs by 1945. Hotel chains in Madrid and New York banned her. She peed in the Ritz lobby. Wild and beautiful, she was unstoppable. She dragged Grace Kelly into a brothel in Rome for fun. Grace kissed a stranger in a cab back seat when they left. The more MGM tried to control Ava's image, the wilder she grew. Not only had Shaw insulted her, he broke her. Ava began drinking more after him. Her nights were big martinis, champagne glasses, wine, and scotch, or bourbon at nightclubs. She wondered how they survived. Alcohol eased her pain but worsened her sadness. She thought she deserved no affection. Film shootings had to be planned early since she drank so much. Between Shaw and Sinatra, she had an affair with Robert Mitchum. He married. She didn't care. "I was crazy for him," she said. She maintained dating Mitchum after switching to Sinatra. When she told him Frank was getting serious, Mitchum warned her that he's dangerous. She disobeyed. Chaos began after the triangle ended. Mitchum subsequently told friends she was the most gorgeous, self-destructive woman he'd met. It was true. Ava pursued danger like fate. Frank Sinatra followed. They met accidentally. In a gloomy nightclub in 1943, Ava Gardner was married to Mickey Rooney. Frank Sinatra, 27, was renowned and married to Nancy Barbato. Still, seeing Ava struck him. "Why have we never met?" he whispered. The spark was instant, yet neither acted. Not yet. Some years later, Ava joined Frank's famous softball team, the Swooners. Just the Batgirl, second baseman. Their attraction was strong, but they parted. Both were married. "I'm going to marry that girl someday," Sinatra told his friends after seeing Ava's photo in a magazine. Ava didn't swoon when they met. He seemed arrogant and out of control to her. Something kept bringing them together. Finally, in 1949, they met again at a party. Ava was 26. Sinatra's career was falling at 33. His gigs weren't packed. He was losing his voice. However, he arrived that night with a martini, a smile, and those famous blue eyes. Clear memory for Ava. When in the mood, Frank Sinatra was the kindest and most charming man ever. Their affair started that night. Not just a fling. Fanatical Sinatra. He recorded a private demo of "You're My Thrill" for Ava that year. Only 3 copies existed. One remained in Ava's record collection. But there was an issue. Frank remained married. His 3 children lived with him. In 1950, Valentine's Day arrived. Frank requested a divorce from Nancy. It stunned everyone. Catholics didn't divorce publicly. Ava acted quickly. She once made him drive to his house and phone Nancy in front of her to tell it. "Want divorce?" Nancy first refused. Trying to salvage her marriage, they had kids. Tina, Nancy, and Frank Jr. But gossip pages shredded them.